y'all. I'm tired.
This is my wife, Jacqueline, and this is me. Jacqueline and I have been married for a little bit over a year now. Throughout that time, we've been picking up the camera to record all the things that we've experienced together, all the different places we've been, all the different sights we've seen. Also, when we look back, we can have memories that we can share with our children and our family, and we can just look back on and reminisce. Our channel recently hit 100 subscribers, and because so, we want to do a proper get-to-know-us video. You'll hear how we met, a little bit about us, so be sure to like and subscribe, and always remember, I know it's real without a shadow of doubt. Alright, you want to tell us how we met?
Sure, I'll tell them how we met. Well, there's not much to start off there, but basically we have known each other in some way since we were kids. I would say we were what, like 6, 7? Or I was at least 6, 7.
If it's 2006, I was 6 years old.
I thought I came. So basically, I am not from here. I was born in Texas,
and you lived there for how long?
A couple years.
You remember Texas?
Yes, because my dad was in the military, and then eventually once I got out, which was, I think he got out around 2004, something like that, I don't know. But anyways, when he got out, we moved back to Ohio. We both grew up at Trinity Gospel Temple. Anywho. So yeah, that's kind of how we met, because then I started going there because most of my mom's side went to Trinity, and then your side all goes to Trinity.
Yeah, I grew up in church, so that was the only church that I grew up in. So my parents were involved in every Sunday, 9 a.m. choir practice. Were we ever on time? Very rare. Very rare. But I think everybody was used to it. We were never an on-time church family, but grew up in church.
Yes, so we grew up in church, and yeah, so then fast forward some years later, I was a teenager, almost approaching teenage years, and I used to have the biggest crush on Deshaun, and he still doesn't believe me to this day, but I did. People that were close to me at the time know how much that I liked him.
So you're saying you were a fiend?
I mean, if you
were
want,
a fan.
If you want to put it that way.
It's okay. If you're a fan, that's okay. You can be a fan.
Sure. Anyways, but I knew he was just a couple years older than me, and that we all grew up together as like a church family. So I was like, it's never gonna happen. Blah 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 blah. And It never did happen at that time. And I used to pray, Lord, if he is the one, Lord, if it's your will, Lord, that we will be together, and even if it's in years down the road, not thinking it would be years down the road. Honestly, at that time, I was just saying prayer because I know that's the thing that you should do. Doesn't mean you're gonna get it, right? You're gonna get what you prayed for. But look, God works just not on my time and on His. So yes.
Mind you, we are 2.5 years apart.
2.5 years.
So that would have been 2013, 2014. I would have been 13 or 14 or 15. You would have been 12.
I don't see the difference.
I see a big difference.
I don't.
Anyway, back to the story. Go on. So teenage years.
Yeah, you go on next.
You were a big fan. Okay, so allegedly Jacqueline was a big fan. Whatever. So you were a big fan, and you said you had a crush on me. So teenage years, we grew up in church, camps, all that. Everybody's getting older. The group is getting older. And you and I were just friends.
Were we even friends?
We were acquaintances.
We were friends because we had to be friends.
We were acquaintances. I always liked to play basketball, and so where would I always find you? At the basketball court, because you always wanted to be around, but you weren't the only one. Everybody used to hang out at the basketball court.
Because everybody liked Deshaun. That's something I had to deal with. Now, one thing I did used to do was I was a big gum fiend. And then when I learned he liked a certain type of gum, and that was the way he would speak to me, spearmint. And that's the way he would speak. Only time that he would consistently speak to me was to ask, do you have gum? So I used to tell my mom, we have to make sure I'm stocked up on my gum. Mom, I'm running out of spearmint. We need to go to the store. I need to buy some spearmint gum. I would have like 5 different flavors of gum in my bag. I mean, at that time, I loved snacks, so I was always taking snacks to school. I put snacks in my locker, but whatever. Anyways, so I would always have gum on me. And then he would come, You would never call me Jackie, right? You would call me Jackie.
No, I think I called you JoJo.
That's what it was.
We called you JoJo because you're like, my nickname's JoJo.
Because someone named, it's like Becky. Her name's Becky, my dad's friend. They call me JoJo because I love JoJo.
That's literally what you were in my phone for the longest.
I know.
You still pop
I didn't
up
know
on
that.
my iPad as JoJo.
Well, I didn't know I was JoJo to you back then. But anyways, yes. So that's a little side note to kind of add in, like, oh yeah, I liked him back then. As since nobody really believes me.
Fast forward, now we got a kid. Meet Cade. Anyway, so teenage years, we were just friends. We were always cool. We were cordial. I wouldn't say we were best friends, but we were cool. We were always around, or for the most part, because of church, we were always around each other.
Correct.
And then something happened at the church, and everybody just disappeared. Our youth group kind of fell apart. Everybody kind of went their own ways, and there you go. Everybody went their own ways and did their own thing, and we just kind of lost touch with everybody. And so then in 2020, I remember this day. I was at work, and I was sitting at the desk. No, I wasn't sitting at the desk. I was pulling stuff off the shelf. And I get this notification on Snapchat, and it says JoJo is typing. So you think it's like an accident, you know, like it'll just say if somebody like clicks on your name or something, it's an accident. So like, oh, nothing of it. And then it says JoJo sent you a chat. So then I'm sitting here thinking, and I'm like, wait, why would she send me a chat? Like, did something, like, was there some reason for it? Did she need something? Because that happened before. Someone had messaged me on Snapchat for a video for a funeral. And so it was a message from you. I forget what it said. I remember what it said.
Yeah, what did it say?
It said something, and I think I just laughed at it, and then we just started picking up conversation.
Yes, which I thought it was just gonna end right there, because I was just throwing a little joke out there, and then I thought you would laugh at it, and then that would be it. I didn't think we would carry on.
It was just cool conversation.
But I didn't think we would even get like that.
Well, I think what it was too was we were messaging on Snapchat, and
should we bring them up?
Huh?
Should we bring the messages up?
No, we don't need to bring them up. I don't know if I have them anymore. Anyway,
They're there.
We were messaging on Snapchat, and the conversations were going, like, carrying over, and I always forgot what was being said next. So you would text something, I would respond, I'd fall asleep, and then in the morning you would be like, oh yeah, that's crazy, and I'd be like, I don't know what I just said, and you'd be like, I don't know what I said either. Good morning. That's what you would say. And so the conversation could just continue. I was like, well, hey, I think I still have your number if you want to continue to talk to me.
See
just
how he
text on-
slid that in there? Like, he didn't even have to say that. We could have kept it on Snapchat, or
We
it
were
could have
just
been like,
having...
or we could have ended the conversation there, like casual conversation, ended, boom.
We
Never
were
hear
just
from you again.
friends talking, and then it turned into iMessage games.
Yeah, that's how you said. I think you asked.
Did I?
You said your number. Let's play some iMessage games.
Okay, maybe because you were making it weird. You were
No, I probably wasn't. I think
giving
you-
off red flags.
I think you were like, we're having this a long conversation, so let's move it to actual messages.
That's what it was. Okay, whatever you say. But we played iMessage games, and then you knew one of my hobbies was photography and videography, so you randomly pick up a camera. And one day I'm with friends, and we're all kicking it, and I get this text message from Jacqueline, like, hey, can you critique my picture for me? What do you think I should do to it? It's like, oh, you're just begging for attention at this point.
I was genuinely asking because I knew you liked that stuff, so why not go to a resource?
Oh, yes, you were plotting and scheming. But we continued to talk and get close. I think both of us were coming out of like a rougher season of everything. And so we were just cool. And then we just got closer.
We did. Our first hangout, I won't even call it
It wasn't a date. It was a
because
hang.
it was just to like.
Yeah, remember? Because you wanted to go to a pumpkin patch. So you wanted to go to a pumpkin patch, right? And I'm like, okay, yeah, we can go to a pumpkin patch. We'll take some pictures. And, you know, just throwing it out there, leaving it for you to plan everything. And then the day before, you're like, hey, are we still good to go to the pumpkin patch? I'm like, yeah, sure. And you're like, okay, the nearest one that there is like an hour and a half away. And I was like, yeah, that is not true. I'm not going an hour away to a pumpkin patch.
Why not?
Because that's a little...
We did that in Montana.
That we were but a pumpkin patch an hour away, and I was like, you're trying to move too fast here. We're just friends, buddy.
Nah, buddy. It was there. There was a nice one there. Anyways, let me speed up to how he even got JoJo typing on Snapchat. So really...
Wait, we're backtracking now?
We're backtracking because you're telling your side, your perspective. Now I got to tell my perspective how it led to you being at Home Depot and getting that message.
Okay, back to the message.
So So back to the message real quick. So basically, I was with one of my good friends, Ayana, and we were sitting in Chick-fil-A parking lot because that was our go-to spot. We always went to Chick-fil-A. And we're just sitting in the parking lot, eating our food, eating our chicken, because you know we like chicken. And I was just like, Ayana, I don't know why, but somebody I like grew up with and whatnot, like, they just popped in my head. Like, I haven't thought about this dude in forever. I don't see him like that. I don't go to that church anymore. Kind of different lifestyle and all that at the time. I said, so I don't know why. And she's like, text him, Jackie. She said, I think you should text him. I said, I ain't gonna text him. He already thinks I'm weird or something like that, and blah blah blah. And it's been so long since I had any type of conversation with him. And so I was just talking about it, just saying like, I don't know, it's just a weird feeling. Why did I think Deshaun? Like, you know what I mean? So I just let it go after that. I was like, nah, I'm not gonna do anything about it. And then a week goes by and I'm with my cousin Shayla, and I kind of told her the same thing. I said, I really don't know why, but he really popped in my head. And she's like, you should text him. And I said, no, I said the same thing. I'm not going to do that. Well, I seen him on social media, like his profile popped up, and I was like, that's weird, because out of all these years, that has never happened where he just happened to pop up like the For You page type of thing or suggestions, and he does now. Now he does. And so I said, okay, maybe I'll text him. Mm-hmm. So I'm getting ready to hop in the shower because, the shower gives you a good waiting game. You don't have to, you're doing something, you don't have to stare at your phone. So I sent a little text message, whatever I did. And then I threw my phone to the side and hopped in the shower. And the whole time I'm like, Sheila, did he text? Did he say? And then we would hear the Snapchat bubbles. She's like, he's typing. Oh my gosh, I don't have to answer it. Yeah, I was going through that moment. Because you get real nervous when you send a text or just to someone and that you haven't talked to for a while, and you just get nervous because they're probably like, well, why are they texting me? Just like you said. Yeah. So that's my point of view of how that works. But it's just crazy because he literally popped in my head. And didn't that happen to you before? And you said, what the freak is she doing in my head? Yeah, it did. But obviously, like you said, then we went on our first hangout at Texas Roadhouse. Roadhouse, not Roadhouse. And we were there forever. You would not shut up. Excuse me, we were both having a conversation. We were, but you kept talking. What did you say? Like, there was something that I didn't like that you kept doing. Like, you kept correcting me or something. Probably. Or you kept... Yeah, you probably did that. I think you said I was, like, correcting you because you would say different things or... First time we see each other. Friends. We were cool. And so we were there forever, and then we continued to hang out. He had the audacity to call me a kid. Literally, as we had that great time, that unexpected time that went great, and we're walking out. I'm thinking he's gonna walk me to my car, open my door, just as a nice gentleman do, even as friends, right? I didn't want you to get it. This is what I did. See it, kid. I said. And it was raining. Yeah. I said, ouch. Okay, kid. If I would have taken you to your car and opened your door, you would have tried to marry me on the spot. I would have respected that. Oh yeah, sure you would have. Yeah, I would have. Mm-hmm. And so then, what was our next date? Do you remember? It wasn't the photo studio, but I remember we had gone to a couple times, like out to escape room. Escape room.
I remember the escape room because I think we went for like my birthday or something.
You did, and I
And
did
you got me a gift and whatever. And I remember after you got me the gift, I was like, oh, you don't have to give me a gift. And so then I said, okay, give me a hug. I swear I've never seen somebody move so fast to get a hug.
I don't remember
I
moving
promise
fast.
you,
I
Jonathan,
think I
you
just like
ran.
no, I
Yes,
didn't
you
run.
did. Jonathan, I promise
I
that
had
you
to
were.
set the stuff down.
No, you gave it to me.
Well, I had to
Exactly.
get out the
I
car.
said, oh, give me a hug.
No, I didn't.
You were moving to give me a hug.
I don't remember that.
Oh, I remember. And then I think we went to dinner, I think at BJ's after that.
Oh, did we?
And I remember I got
We
the
went to
pizza.
Dave and Buster's before Buster, but that was with Shayla.
Yeah, that was another time.
We went to the movie.
Yeah.
So we've went on a few different hangouts and what stuff, dates, whatever you want to call it.
Yes. So then we got close, and we weren't officially dating yet. Okay. But the problem was you were leaving for the military.
Right. So I didn't think anything would come of it, and slightly, not that I didn't want it to happen, but I was like, this is a big thing, you know, because it was so just a short amount of time until I was leaving. So I was like, I don't expect anything to come out of it. You know, we just kind of reconnected and really got to know each other on more of a personal level than what we did know of each other from like church and stuff and growing up. So that happened. And then, did I cut you off? Or
We never dated.
no,
Just
we never
one
dated.
day.
Fun fact.
One day you were like, so when would you say we became official? And I was like, oh, we became official. So I ended up just picking a date, but like I never asked you to be my girlfriend.
No. And then even after that, you never asked me to be your
Nope, sure
girlfriend.
didn't. So we never dated.
So I just kind of assumed.
You did assume, not kind of, you did assume.
But basically, we had our little share our feelings and stuff like that on Christmas Eve. Oh, my spit flew.
That's disgusting.
On Christmas Eve, and then even after that, like, you know, people tell people share their feelings and stuff like that, but nothing's really official even after you do that.
Mhm.
But at that moment, I think because I was about to leave in less than a month,
Yeah.
so I was just trying to get like feel for it and be like, so are we or are we not? Because mind y'all, I had a breakdown. He is such a sweet guy. As much as I get on him now, then I didn't. Everything he did was just amazing. I mean, everything he does now is amazing. But
The switch up.
he could do no wrong at that time, okay? He could do no wrong. And I remember I had like a breakdown as I was packing my room up and blah, 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 blah. And I caught him crying, the ugly cry. Deja, if you're watching, yes, my nostrils were flaring.
Yeah,
And,
it was.
and he's, what's wrong? What's wrong? Like, he even did that. I don't even know if he'd do that now if I called like that. And,
I said what's wrong. I asked you what's wrong.
but
I was
not
like-
you did the, what's wrong? Like,
Well, it was just random. It was like this random call, and I'm just thinking. I remember it was like a Saturday, and I was just working on something, and you. I can't. And that was what you always did when you cried. I can't. What can't you do?
Yes, I know. But I did that call and he was, were you working on schoolwork?
No, I was working on something for the church.
Yeah, and you're like, do you want me to come pick you up? Do you want to go for a drive? Do you want to go to Sonic? I said, yeah. And so it was late and we went to Sonic. And I think I feel like we had a deep talk at Sonic.
We did. We did have a deep talk. So, yeah. And then you left for the military.
So yes, then I went to the military. Well, we'll start off with the whole goodbye at the hotel before I went off to MEPS, and then they shipped me out basically. And I remember like, I think I was like crying.
Yeah, you were bawling.
I was bawling because I said bye to like all my family.
I can't.
And then I got into the elevator because I went to BMT or joined the military with Ayana. And I remember just crying. And I don't know how I'm going to do this because it was going to be months. Like, I left in January of 2021. And I wasn't able to see him until July.
See till July, but talk consistently.
Yeah,
till
but
May.
actually, oh shoot. Like, actually, the freak. No. Like, actually see him until July. So, January to July. Just let me say it again. January to July. And I know there's people out there that go longer, but for someone who has never gone through long distance, that was very hard for me. And so from then we had to write letters to each other on a BMT, through BMT, which he would write like books and stuff. But I always look forward to them because that helped me get through BMT. And
a letter every day.
Yeah, letter every day. Literally, the mail call or whatever it was called would happen. Like, dang, I think my NCI was like, you got a lot from this McElroy person. I was like, yeah. And so I would always get mail from him, which was sweet. Which I think it took a while to come in because there was like some type of backup.
Because it was COVID.
COVID, yes. But I always looked forward to him, and then I would mail out my letters. And I remember a couple times I think I got in trouble because I would do them like last minute and have to sneak out or whatnot. But anyways, so then tech school hit. And we were still long distance. This time we were able to FaceTime and text and stuff, but it still wasn't the same. I also went through a period through BMT where like I kind of almost had to turn my emotions off in a sense because I was too emotional where I was struggling to get through my days. Like I would literally be standing at attention, getting ready to go into I forget what everything is called, chow hall, I think that's what it's called. And I would literally be like tears coming down my eyes because I would think about him and nope. But no, legit, like I would. And so there came to a point where I had this conversation with this other girl who was also in a relationship. I said, how do you do it? I said, how do you get through your day knowing like not being as emotional and just, you know, persevering through it? And I said, I feel like I almost have to turn off my emotions so that I can get through this season. And she said the same. I still obviously looked like I still was emotional, but I was literally at the beginning I was crying like all the freaking time. I would go in the bathroom just to cry. So I went through that phase in BMT, and then for tech school, I was looking forward to being able to communicate with him again, but I'll let you go ahead.
Yeah, so I came out and visited a couple times, one time. And for his 4th of July. When you first got out of BMT, you were different. You were kind of mean. You were just very blunt and very short. And I was like, well, that's it. Well, I guess this is ending.
That's what you thought?
Yeah, and then we talked about it or whatever, and you were, I'm sorry, it's just, when I went through that, I had to turn everything off. I'm a different person, and blah, 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 blah. Your mom got on you, better not mess this up. Yada, yada, yada.
You're gonna break up with me?
I wasn't gonna break up with you, but if you broke up with me, I figured it'd be coming. Don't worry now. But we got close in tech school. Like I said, I came out and visited 4th of July. And then shortly after that, I found out you were getting stationed in Montana.
Malmstrom Air Force Base.
Yes. And I just remember talking and thinking, like, what the heck do I look like living in Montana? I do not look like a Montanan.
Mm-hmm.
And so, you finished up tech school, came back home to visit, and then we drove you out to Montana, 27 hours.
Yeah.
27-hour drive from Ohio to Montana. It was a great drive. It was fun. We seen a lot. Well, we didn't see a ton the first time out
We
there.
didn't explore that time.
No, because you were like, I can only drive for 8 hours or they're going to come and get me.
I know, and that's a whole different story too. That was our first time like being together that long, and
But so that happened, and then we got to Montana, and then dropped you off, flew back, and I didn't think I seen you again for 2 months.
sounds alright.
2 months. So 2 months went by, and I booked the trip in October to see you. And it was cold. I remember being cold when I got off the plane. And that was when I proposed to you.
Did it happen that soon?
Yes, it did.
That close together?
Yes, it did.
I didn't realize that.
Yes, it did.
Why are you saying it like that?
Because it did. It happened that fast. but I proposed to you at Buffalo Jump State Park.
Yeah.
Remember, it was cold.
And you were wanting to go on the mountainside, but it was close. So
Exactly.
You said, let's do it on this side
Well,
right here.
what we were supposed to do was take pictures.
Mhm.
That was what we were going there to do. And then I ended up proposing. And I used to always joke around and be like, will you marry me? Will you marry me? Yes.
Yes, you would.
And then I actually pulled out a ring and you're like,
Cause I really wasn't expecting it. Like I didn't think like, oh, he got a ring and he brought it to Montana and he was gonna propose to me.
so proposed, and then was there for a couple more days, and okay.
Mind y'all, each time he would leave, I'm sure he could say the same, but I'm saying for myself. It would be really, really hard and would take me a long time to get back right to where I wasn't so emotional and thinking of all the what ifs and all that stuff. Like, what if I didn't join? And what if this and this? Or why can't he still be here? So definitely hard. I give props to all long distance couples because I'm sure you can all agree that it is a hard season.
Yeah. And then, so proposed, and I think it was like every 2 months I would come and see you.
Yeah. Even though it felt longer.
Yeah, so it's every 2 months. And it's expensive to fly to Montana.
Yeah.
Very expensive. And it's a long flight. But that happened, and then a year ago, we moved in together.
We did.
I moved out to Montana.
Yeah, so he ended up loving it. He went from what the heck is Montana to why are we not there right now?
Right, so we lived in Montana then for 5, 6 months. And literally the Monday after I got into Montana, we go to an appointment and they tell us how Jacqueline's about to get out the military. And I was like, I literally just moved out here.
Yeah. And it happened like what, 5, 6, 7 months later. But that is how we met in a nutshell.
Yeah, I got out the military. Then when I moved to Montana, moved back to Ohio, and then we had this guy who's throwing a fit right now because I think he's hungry again.
He loves to eat.
Yes. So, Jacqueline, if you had to wrap up our story in one word, what would you say it was? What would you say the word was? Give me the pinky. Okay, I'll give my word. My word would be perseverance.
That's the word!
No, it's
No,
not.
it's let me say. I was gonna say persistent, but I'm like, that's not the word.
Perseverance. Just because there's a lot of obstacles being long distance and all that stuff.
Well, that was my
We
word.
had to persevere to get to where we are today. It wasn't easy.
Communication.
Well, yeah, because that's all we had.
Yes. Communication is big, especially in long distance. I mean, any relationship, but long distance for sure, because then you get into those periods where like, why did you leave? Do you not love me anymore? Remember those?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, you'd get mad at me for like, why can't you just stay longer? You must not love me enough. Sorry, I had to.
I'm telling you, it can be rough. And that definitely, I think that also brings out sides of you that you didn't know were there. Like the good, bad, and ugly. But,
Yeah, what would you say to any of those long distance couples out there who are struggling right now?
I will say there's an end to it, an end to long distance. Keep going, and that I know it can be hard seeing people who are in a relationship that get to see each other all the time. You start to compare, and you start to kind of downgrade their relationships in a sense. At least I did. Just keep going, communicate. Always build the trust. Obviously, be honest, open. And don't let it define you also. Obviously your relationship's a big part of you, but don't let it take away from the moments that you get to make when you're with the person and when you're not with the person. And just know there's an end. Just keep running that race and know that you guys will come out stronger in the end.
Agreed.
And also, prayer is real. I mean, look, 12, 10, 11, 13, however old I was, 21 now. I was 18 at the time, almost 19. Wow. Prayer works. the Lord heard me. So keep on praying, ladies. Keep on praying.
Anyway, that's gonna wrap up the video for today. We did this for what, our 100 subscribers that we got?
Yes, so thank you for our 100 subscribers that we hit, the 100 mark. Honestly, we didn't expect that when we first started out because our YouTube channel was just intended for us to be able to go on to a page, look back at all the vlogs and memories that we made together through our dating season and being engaged and married and living in Montana. Because obviously, like, you know, you have memories that go through your head, but you want to actually see it. And so that's what we did. And we didn't expect our subscriber count to get that high, and it's continuously growing.
So
we
if you
just wanna say
haven't,
thank you.
subscribe.
Yes, subscribe. But we want to say thank you so much, and it means a lot, and it motivates us to continue to make these videos and to just share about our life.
Yeah. Anything else you got to say?
No, I think that's all. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any further questions about what we went through for long distance, or any other tips or advice, if you're going through the same thing, you want personal words of encouragement, just drop a comment below and we will get back to you. Dear Heavenly Father, Lord, thank you for this wonderful day, Lord, and just thank you for the opportunity for us to be able to create videos like this and the ones that we made before, to be able to just sit down and share our story. I'm just grateful to have the means to do this, the technology, Lord, and I pray that whoever watches this video, that they're able to be inspired by you, that they can see you through our relationship and through our story, and that will encourage them to just wait on you. And Lord, I just pray that if anybody's going through anything, specifically an unknown prayer request, Lord, that you just lift it up into your hands, Lord, and that you just comfort them. And I pray that everyone has a good night. In Jesus' name I pray, amen.
Deuces!
Deuces!